Hi, it's Bruce. It's Monday, January 16th, Martin Luther King Day. I'm off of work, and I needed it so bad. What I really need is a tan. I haven't blogged in a long time. It's getting longer and longer between blogs, so I have a few things to catch up on that I'm not going to completely review because most of them are gone. First, well, this isn't gone, but how long have you known me? I've been blogging a long time. I've been going to the theater a long time. I lost a program. I saw Chinglish by David Henry Wang, a comedy on Broadway now, and I don't have the program. I have misplaced programs before, maybe one or two in 40 years. So, you know, I can tell you it's been a holiday season. Chinglish, a very amusing piece, a little heavy to get through it sometimes, but very funny about the misinterpretation of language of a businessman who goes to China to try to start setting up deals and things. So actually Chinglish was very amusing, and it's still running, and if you're interested in seeing it, it's there, and I recommend it. What I don't recommend is I went to see a closed-up space with David Hyde Pierce of the Manhattan Theater Club, Stage 1, with Rosie Perez. And David Hyde Pierce is a great actor. I thought he was really good, especially the first 10 minutes. Didn't like the play at all. Can't recommend it. It was really on par with being as bad as the previous play, We Live Here, which was in that space. They're having a tough time, at least with this one. I saw a fabulous production of The Cherry Orchard with Diane Wiest, the Classic Stage Company, but it's no longer here. It was star-studded: John Turturro, Diane Wiest, Michael Urie, Roberta Maxwell, Alvin Epstein, Daniel Davis, Josh Hamilton. It was phenomenal in a small space, really a great production. Wish I would have seen it earlier so I could have recommended it to more people, but it was sold out. Had a hard time getting tickets. Then I saw the roundabout production of She Loves Me, which was a benefit. She Loves Me was the first musical I ever saw in New York in 1963. It's one of my favorites. Jane Krakowski was in this, Gavin Creel, Josh Radnor, who I did not know played the lead George, Kelly O'Hara played Amalia, and the real find here was this Josh Radnor. He was so charming. It was wonderfully cast, it was wonderfully directed, it was just beautifully played with the orchestra. Everyone was great. The best casting, I think, for all the people, besides Josh Radnor, was Jane Krakowski. Made a fabulous Ilona. I love She Loves Me. Thank you, my friend Glenn, who got me the ticket, or else I wouldn't have gone. He knew that I needed this for my birthday. All right, so for shows that I have seen that are running, that I can talk a little bit more about, is Cynthia Nixon in WIT, a revival. The first... it was never on Broadway, it was off-Broadway hit with Kathleen Chalfant. I think it won the Pulitzer Prize for Margaret Edson, who really hasn't written anything else. WIT is I forgot how good of a play this is, and this is a very good production directed by Lynn Meadow with a wonderful performance by Cynthia Nixon. I don't know if it's just the years or how I was feeling, but I really loved this production. I think it struck me deeper than the original, and the original was so potent. So I'm not saying it's really better, I'm saying, wow, it's great. So I highly recommend that at the Samuel J. Friedman Theater. Cynthia Nixon, there's a lot of actresses this season, but she's right up there. The New York Theater Workshop is doing a musical that's moving to Broadway called Once. It's based on the film Once, which won an Oscar for Best Song, Falling Slowly. I really enjoyed this production and this musical, but I wasn't completely bowled over by it. I had seen the movie, which was highly recommended by critics and such, and And I liked the movie, and that's how I felt about the musical. What I really liked about it was the staging. It stars Steve Casey, K-A-Z-E-E, who was in 110 The Shade a few years back, and Kristen Milotti. And they're really wonderful, they're charming, and they're wonderful. It's about an Irish musician in Dublin who meets a Czech kind of crazy girl who really wants his music to go far and really helps him a lot with his music. It's quite touching, but there's something that's missing with the characters and the story that didn't pull me in more. The staging, however, and the rest of the cast, which is an ensemble which plays music, they all play music, they are the band, they are the actors, was wonderful. So it really does sweep you away. It didn't sweep me far enough away, but I do recommend it. What I really loved was that when I walked in, when they opened the doors, I kind of needed a glass of wine before. It was so far downtown, and I thought, oh, they're not serving wine out in the lobby, but that's okay. We walk in, there's the bar on stage, which is the set, and you actually walk up on stage, and you can have a beer, a wine, I mean, you buy it. And the cast is there playing this, like I said, Irish band. And you can stand on stage and have your wine or beer and watch them play for 10, 15 minutes, and then take your seat. That was wonderful. And the show's very good. But it didn't blow me away. But I do recommend it. And finally, I think probably out of all these things, this ranks up with WIT for my favorite things this week, these past few weeks, is the Gershwins, which now they're calling the Gershwins, Porgy and Bess. It's gotten a lot of controversy because it's a cut-down Porgy and Bess. It's done for 2.5 hours, and it's a rewritten book by Suzanne Laurie Parks, and it's supposed to be more accessible, and it is. However, I liked it. I liked it a lot. It is a stripped-down version. If you're a purist and you just want the 3 hours of Porgy and Bess opera, or 3.5 or whatever it is, I have memories of that from the Houston Grand Opera with Clan Medale when they played here in the late 70s, which is wonderful and sweeping, and this is minimal and sweeping. What you really have here is you've got the great music, as purists would say, or what's left of it, because they do cut it up and it's sort of like the Porgy and Bess hits. But all the music's there, the essential music. I know people will argue with me. Audra McDonald as Bess, not as Porgy. Who can argue? She's brilliant. Norm Lewis, I almost said Norm MacDonald from Audra McDonald. Norm Lewis is a good acquaintance of mine, I have to say. He had us backstage, so he's wonderful. He's a great guy, B, he's a great singer and performer, and he and Audra do those duets like, oh Lord, there wasn't a dry eye in the house and people were cheering. And it is the more minimal staging of it. Diane Paulus, who did The Brilliant Hair a few years back, directed this and helped cut it down with Suzanne Laurie Parks. And David Allen Greer is a wonderful sport in life. So you've got all these great songs. I Got Plenty of Nothing, Best Use My Woman, I Love You Porgy, Summertime, There's a Boat That's Leaving Soon, I'm on My Way to the Promised Land. It's just a beautiful thing there at the Richard Rodgers Theater. And I know it's a little controversial and people can argue that it's not the Porgy and Bess, but I'm happy it's here and I'm glad I saw it. And go see Audra and Norm. They just are like fireworks. All right, well, I hope I get to see some more stuff soon, and I hope I blog sooner than I have been, because it's really, I really love talking about all this stuff that's here in New York. Come and go see Porgy and Bess, see WIT, and when Once moves to Broadway, come and see it, because it's really staged well, and it's got a really quirky and interesting story. All right, see you later.